Caitlin Clark's arrival in the WNBA was one of the most anticipated moments in recent basketball history. Fans and analysts alike expected the brightest star of college basketball to bring new energy and attention to the women's professional league. And while she's certainly done that, not everyone in the WNBA seemed ready to embrace her. Many veteran players greeted Clark not with open arms, but with rough defense, dismissive comments, and constant taunting. Rookies usually face some level of welcome to the league treatment, but with Clark, everything has been amplified. Opponents are quickly realizing that provoking Caitlin Clark might not be the smartest idea. Each time she drains a deep three-pointer, don't poke the bear, it's becoming obvious that Clark isn't just adjusting to the league, she's thriving in it. The speed of her transition to a tougher, faster game has been incredible. While everyone knew she had the skill to succeed, many doubted her physicality and toughness. Those doubts are fading fast. Early in her rookie season, Clark became an easy target, a new face with huge attention on her. Many opponents saw a chance to make a name for themselves by going at her hard. But as the season went on, an insult with poise. She never lost her composure in interviews or on the court, even when older or stronger players tried to rough her up. The list of players who've gone after her, from rookies to veterans, is long, but one thing's clear. Minutes later, she buried multiple deep shots in a row, silencing the trash talk and helping Indiana secure the win. The Sky tried to frustrate us. The criticism doesn't stop on offense, either. Even when Clark starts playing physically on defense, giving opponents a taste of their own medicine, she still gets called out. One of the clearest examples was her clash with Chennedy Carter of the Phoenix Mercury. After Clark fouled Carter on a drive to the rim, Carter immediately began jawing and stepping toward her aggressively. The moment didn't escalate, but it exposed the double standard Clark faces every game. The footage shows exactly what happened. A routine foul that's part of the game. Any coach would agree that if you're going to foul, make sure the player doesn't get an easy bucket. Clark did just that, but Carter didn't see it that way, reacting as if the contact was personal. Clark, however, kept her composure, simply replying, "It was just a foul," before walking away. Moments like these define Caitlin Clark's rookie year. Constant pressure, constant scrutiny, and constant composure. She's proving that she can handle the physicality, the trash talk, and the expectations, all while elevating her game and the league around her. Caitlin Clark walked away calmly to avoid further conflict, a move that perfectly sums up her maturity and composure. While no one can know exactly what was going through Chennedy Carter's mind after that foul, it's hard not to wonder if her reaction would have been the same had another player been involved. It seemed clear that Clark's growing fame and spotlight might have influenced the aggression she faced. Yet, instead of responding emotionally, Caitlin chose to let her performance do the talking. Despite the tension and provocation, she stayed focused, controlled the pace, and played a smart, unselfish game that led to another big fever victory at home. The matchup remained close deep into the fourth quarter, but when the pressure mounted, Clark's composure and court vision took over. She faced multiple double teams, but never forced her shot, finding open teammates instead of chasing personal glory. Her final assist of the night was a masterclass in basketball IQ, effortlessly drawing defenders before delivering a perfect pass to seal the win. Unfortunately, not every veteran in the league handled things with the same level of professionalism. Some of Caitlin's harshest trash talkers are experienced players who, despite their resumes, have allowed frustration to get the best of them. Las Vegas Aces guard Alysha Clark, not to be confused with Caitlin, is one such example. A three-time WNBA champion, three-time Israeli League champion, and the reigning sixth Woman of the Year. Alysha should be setting the standard for leadership at 37 years old, not resorting to cheap shots. During a heated game against the Indiana Fever, Alysha became visibly frustrated by Caitlin's scoring ability. In one particularly ugly moment, she struck Caitlin on the head, a foul that had no place in the sport. The replay left no doubt. Caitlin's head snapped back from the impact, and yet Alysha acted outraged at being called for the foul, pretending it was a clean block. The reaction was childish and unbecoming of a player with her experience and accolades. It's hard to believe she would have reacted the same way if anyone other than Caitlin Clark had been on the receiving end. Meanwhile, Caitlin once again showed the maturity of a seasoned veteran. Instead of engaging or escalating, she checked herself for injury, regrouped with her teammates, and got right back to work. No dramatics, no shouting, no tough guy act, just basketball. Ironically, the hit seemed to wake her up. Though she wasn't having her best game before the foul, Clark found her rhythm afterward, displaying her signature deep shooting and crisp passing. She finished with a double-double, 13 points and 11 assists. Though the Fever ultimately fell short against the powerhouse Aces, led by MVP Aya Wilson. Caitlin may not have avenged that foul yet, but with 2 more games left against Las Vegas this season, fans can bet she'll be ready. The Seattle Storm were another team that tried to test Clark's composure and ended up regretting it. In a tense game against the Fever, Seattle's defense became overly physical in an attempt to slow her down. The worst moment came courtesy of Victoria Vivians, a former Fever player herself, who took offense to one of Caitlin's long-range threes. As they jogged back on defense, Vivians began trash-talking aggressively, getting uncomfortably close to Clark. The situation could have spiraled out of control if not for Vivian's teammates stepping in to pull her away. The Gainbridge Fieldhouse crowd reacted immediately, booing the Storm and rallying behind their hometown hero. But as usual, Caitlin Clark didn't take the bait. She simply turned and walked toward her coach, ignoring the drama completely. At that point, Seattle was up by 6 with plenty of time left. But Caitlin flipped the switch. From that moment on, the game was all Indiana. She dominated with a mix of deep three-pointers, sharp drives, and even a few defensive steals, finishing with 23 points and 9 assists, while Vivians, who started the trash talk, scored 0 points in 9 minutes. The Fever won by nearly 20, a commanding victory that made one thing clear. Trying to rattle Caitlin Clark only makes her stronger. And then there's Diana Taurasi, one of the most legendary names in women's basketball. With 3 WNBA championships, an MVP award, and a reputation as one of the best guards ever, Taurasi's opinions carry weight. But as she nears the end of her storied career, her comments about Caitlin Clark and the new wave of rookies have raised eyebrows. When asked about the highly anticipated rookie class headlined by Clark before the season began, Taurasi's tone was dismissive, her words tinged with condescension. A sign, perhaps, that even legends can feel the pressure of a rising star who's beginning to redefine the game they once ruled.
Reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
While Diana Taurasi's remarks weren't openly malicious, they carried a tone of overconfidence, a belief that she still towers over the new generation of talent. That might have been true a decade ago, when Taurasi was in her prime. But at 42 years old, she's no longer in a position to teach lessons to rising stars. The difference between perception and reality became crystal clear when she finally faced Caitlin Clark on the court. A few months after those comments, the two met in their first official WNBA showdown, and things didn't go as Taurasi had imagined. Clark delivered a near triple-double performance, finishing with 15 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds, while Taurasi scored 19 points for the Phoenix Mercury but couldn't lift her team to victory. The Indiana Fever won convincingly, and Caitlin's playmaking brilliance stood out more than anything. Her impressive assist total showed that she wasn't chasing revenge or personal glory. She stayed focused on making her teammates better and exposing the defense every time it overcommit to her shot threat. While Phoenix had its share of friction with Clark, no team has fueled more drama with that shove, which came right after Clark drained a deep three-pointer, was completely unjustifiable. It wasn't a basketball move. It was pure frustration turned into aggression. The blatant attempt at intimidation immediately went viral, as fans and analysts condemned the unsportsmanlike act. Carter was called for a flagrant foul, giving Caitlin free throws and possession, ultimately hurting her own team. The Sky went on to lose that game, and her reputation online as one of Clark's biggest haters. You'd think she might lay low after that, but Carter instead doubled down a few months later when ESPN released its list of the top WNBA players. The rankings placed Caitlin Clark 12 spots higher than Carter. And instead of congratulating anyone, Carter took to Twitter with a bitter post. "How I average less minutes, and my stats top in the league, but I'm at the bottom. This isn't adding up. The hate be so obvious." She didn't mention Clark by name, but the implication was crystal clear. Her frustration at being ranked below Caitlin was unfounded, and her numbers didn't support her complaint. Carter is averaging 16.9 points, 2.8 assists, and 1.4 steals per game, while Clark's stats are stronger across the board with 17.9 points, a league-leading 8.3 assists and 1.4 steals. ESPN's decision to rank Caitlin higher wasn't hate, it was logic. And yet, despite all the tension with Carter, she's not even Clark's most significant rival in the Sky. That title belongs to Angel Reese, whose rivalry with Caitlin stretches all the way back to their college days. The two are now competing for the Rookie of the Year award, adding more fuel to one of basketball's most compelling storylines. To Angel's credit, she's always been upfront about her competitive nature and her on-court provocations. She doesn't hide behind vague comments, and when she talks about trash talk and rivalry, she does it with surprising maturity. Here's one of her more revealing quotes about where she draws the line between playful competition and disrespect.
This is what people don't understand, like, they think it's personal, but when I get between the lines, and if my teammate right here went to play for another team, I'm going to be competitive, I'm going to talk trash, or just because I'm super competitive. So I think that's a part of the game, and just trying to normalize, like, trash talking is okay, but not taking it personal off the court. Obviously, that has become a thing, and people are just trying to make it seem like it's something, but I love Caitlin, I love her game, and I admire everything she's done.
It's clear that many people don't fully understand the nature of competition if they side. Even if it's a close friend or a former teammate, I'm going to compete hard and talk my share of trash. That's just part of who I am. I'm extremely competitive, and trash talk, to me, is simply part of the game. What people need to realize is that it's not personal once we leave the court. Unfortunately, that's something a lot of fans and media twist into unnecessary drama. I actually respect Caitlin a lot. I love her game and everything she's accomplished. That explanation would make perfect sense if only Angel had stopped her headband, gave her coach a quick high five, and kept playing as if nothing happened. Still, you could tell she mentally logged that moment, a silent promise to make the Chicago Sky pay for it later. And she did. In their next encounter, Clark played with visible determination, coming just shy of a triple-double with 23 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. The Fever took the win, and Caitlin once again proved why trying to rattle her never works. The truth is, trash-talking Caitlin Clark only seems to fuel her fire. She's ice-cold under pressure, completely unbothered by insults or rough play. Her response has always been the same: team to victory. She's silenced countless critics, not through words, but through dominance on the court. And although she'll likely continue to face similar incidents throughout her career, her method of dealing with them is flawless. She lets her game speak for itself. If she keeps hitting those absurd deep threes and stacking up wins, the rest of the league will eventually learn. Provoking Caitlin Clark is a dangerous game.